Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Coach's Corner. We are inside because we can be. You know, we're adults. We've paid our price outside. We're going to be in the nice confines of the weight room, and yeah, the boys, the offensive linemen you guys saw on the 50-yard line last week, they're going to use the weight room too. They're chomping at the bit. They've got a bunch of Dr. Pepper and cookies.
For their lineman talk.
Lineman talk.
Lineman talk.
Right.
That's the correct name.
It's kind of like book club for women.
I don't know.
Anyway, we are glad that you're with us. This is Coach Adam Hale. I am Bob Rombach. And we're here again after another big win, this time in Level 2. The Pirates took care of Ladysmith twice in 3 weeks. Did it in style once again. And now we look forward to Cameron coming in to R.W. Olson Stadium on Friday for Level 3. So congratulations on making it so far. And good job on Friday night. I know you were a little bit worried. The conditions were a lot better for, you know, throwing and that part of offense. So you guys handled Ladysmith pretty well, I thought. What were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it was a good win. I mean, like you said, I was a little worried. They got some good athletes, got some good interior guys, and to play them, you know, on a 2-week turnaround,
yeah,
it's not ideal. But kids took care of business after that first drive. First drive's a little shaky. They drove down and then stalled out. But once we got some points on the board, we kind of rolled from there. Thought the guys did a pretty good job.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, I think you had 4 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown. Lots of guys. You spread it around on Friday night. Is that just, do you go into the week hoping for that, planning for that, or is it just, you know, take the guy who's hot, or how does that work?
Sometimes it just happens. I mean, especially in the passing game, because I mean, quarterback's going to go where he thinks the guy's open or a matchup. So sometimes with the ball being spread out, it's just totally on Brock or Trenton or who they're throwing to and what they like. And then the running game, you know, we can pick that a little bit more.
Right.
It's nice to be able to get different guys multiple carries and spread it out that way. Sometimes, you know, we think we're going to lean on 1 or 2 guys a little bit more than others, and other weeks we think, okay, we can do a variety of things.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of a luxury. You probably don't get that all the time, where you're kind of just riding one running back the whole year, but you guys have a lot of talent across the board. Defensively, I was just looking at stats for the last, you guys are 11-0 now. In 11 games, you have given up 14 first quarter points. That's pretty good.
Surprising. I thought it would have been higher than that. Just because we've given up some long drives, it feels like.
Yeah.
Right
well,
away,
you did give I think like Ladysmith had a nice. One moment. And you were talking about, you know, you felt like people have had some long drives, and I say like Ladysmith did. Hurley, it feels like, had a decent drive.
They scored
They did score. They were one of the 2 that scored. I didn't look that hard to see who the other. Do you remember who?
St. Croix?
I was going to say, because it wasn't that.
Yeah, they scored instantly.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's a really good first quarter, so you don't let teams get off to a good start, and yet that's a big emphasis, it seems, for you, especially now. Get off to a good start offensively, score 1 or 2 touchdowns, and maybe try to just smother them in a way, you know, take their will a little bit. Is that kind of the philosophy? Or?
Yeah, it's always nice to get off to a good start. Momentum's huge for kids.
Yeah.
I mean, playing well early and building confidence on both sides. I think for any team, that's kind of a nice thing to have happen. Doesn't mean, obviously, you can't dig yourself out of a hole or whatever, but yeah, it's nice getting a good start.
So you guys have had basically like 2 close games this year. St. Croix was pretty close, and then the Ishpeming game was pretty close.
Yeah.
Do you wish there would have been a few more closer games, or is that about right for you? I mean, does that cross your mind?
Not really. I mean, since we did have a couple, and one of them coming from behind, actually, we were behind that St. Croix game a little bit too. So I think that's the thing. If we never would have been tested, that'd be different. But since we had a couple tests and we passed and came from behind and won, especially at Ishpeming when there was like 3 minutes left or whatever, we were down.
There, they're going to run it. Here's the snap. They're going to run it. Trenton up the middle. He got it! Touchdown, Trenton!
I think that was good. So winning the other one's big. I don't think that hurt, especially in the first couple rounds of the playoffs, and it hasn't hurt us because we've been winning big again. And I think guys just know by now, okay, it's not going to be easy anymore, and they got to expect for a tough game and some highs and lows and battle for 4 quarters.
Yeah, and that will start on Friday. Cameron is a very good team. They're the 3rd seed, but they are a good team. They have a heck of an offense, a really good quarterback who just slings the ball all over, a good receiving core. Can't say enough about those guys. Generally think of them as a basketball school. They do a great job at basketball, but their football program is really taken off. So talk a little bit about Cameron, what you see from them, and whatever you want to share.
Yeah. They've had a good history. I mean, when I first moved to Grantsburg, they were very good, actually.
Well, they beat me. They beat my team.
They were always strong, and then they had that down run, for 5 years plus, where they weren't very good, and then now they've rebuilt it and got some momentum going. They've gotten better the last few years, and this year they've been really strong. And like you said, they got terrific quarterback, terrific receivers, strong up front, good running game too.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're an explosive team.
They beat Northwestern. Which was like, that had to be like, okay, for just putting myself in their spot, like, okay, we're legit. You beat a team like Northwestern, and that's a big deal. Co-conference champions with, I think, Northwestern, and they lost to St. Croix Falls, but all 3 of those teams that I just mentioned still in the playoffs, level 3. There's only 8 teams left, I think, only 8 teams left per division, and it's a high quality team. So what do you do to kind of try to combat it? Is it a lot like what you did with Ladysmith, or is it completely different? Or
yeah, you got to limit big plays again, because they're similar to Ladysmith. The fact that the quarterbacks are good, they both can run, they're both very accurate, and then they got the good receivers. So limiting big plays is going to be huge. Breaking up passes, because they're going to chuck it long a lot, and they're very confident in that, and they're very good at it. So we got to be in good position, make plays, got to put some pressure on the QB, we got to tackle well in space. So there's some challenges there.
Very good. So this will be, no matter what, the last home game. Do you have anything? You can't really do anything special for the seniors or anything playing their last home game. I suppose the most special thing would be to win.
Exactly.
They would really like that. If you guys do get by Cameron next week, do we know anything about where it would be, or is that like you see who wins the other one and then kind of decide?
Yeah, they match up after Friday night and see where, and get a neutral location and go from there.
So yeah, kind of fun, very fun. You're a final 8 team. Does that feel good, or is it like you want to? I mean, obviously you want to keep going, but when you looked at this season at the beginning of the year, how did you feel about your chances of getting this far?
Well, it's number one, it's good to still be playing, but you always want more. Okay, I mean, until it's all over, you want to win that next game. Preseason-wise, we knew we had that kind of ability, but you never know what's going to happen. We've been lucky; we've stayed pretty healthy. Other than a few kids, have got dinged up. We lost Jaden and Henry and Reese, but our core has stayed healthy, which is key. And again, we knew if we clicked, we could have a good season. I think the guys did a really good job of that, and we probably talked about it really early about sharing the football and not really having egos and getting along, and the guys have done that. And I told Matt and Phil on Monday that that's why you guys are 11-0 is because you've been unselfish and you haven't worried about the stats, and that's just kind of helped get the thing rolling.
You bet. Last thing, All Conference came out a couple days ago. We posted it on, everybody's seen it by now if they're interested. So 9 offensive players on All Conference, 9 defensive, 2 honorable mentions. You got Coach of the Year. Your dad got Assistant Coach of the Year. You guys, Trenton got Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year. Gavin got Co-Defensive Player with Trenton. Yes, you go 11 or you go whatever, undefeated, and you're going to have those post-season, accolades. But dang, that is a lot of guys making All Conference. What do you have? It kind of goes to what you were saying, that it's such a team effort. It wasn't just 1 or 2 guys this year that were doing it. It was everybody from lineman to the quarterback to the kicker. So fantastic season. What do you have to say about The all-conference.
Yeah, you kind of nailed it. I mean, we had so many guys represented, and that kind of represents us as a team. The other coaches did a good job. They understand, too. Like, everybody's kind of been in that situation where they've been a dominant team in the conference, and their team deserves to be recognized. And with us being undefeated in conference, and the other coaches understand that, and our guys get put up and pass through because of the year they've had and what they've shown. Sometimes it's very limited stats with a few of our guys.
Yeah.
But again, I think the other coaches recognize, some of the talent of these kids and what they brought to our season, how that makes a difference and gets them recognized for all conference.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that's about all I have. Anything else from your side?
Just trying to stay warm and getting ready for Friday night.
The weather looks like it's going to be much nicer than the
it's been
beginning.
cold.
It's like
cold.
50 degrees, very little chance of rain. Wind looks like it's going to be nice. So we're going to see an air show, I feel like, on Friday night. It's going to be conducive to putting the ball up in the air by both of you guys. So that should be highly, highly entertaining. And obviously we're rooting for you guys. Go get it done. Get back to state. Level 4 is technically the state semifinal, if you didn't know. So been there before, and hopefully we'll get there again next week. So appreciate you. Thanks for doing this every week.
You bet.
All right.
It's been fun.
All right, come on out. Last home game of the year, no matter what. So come on out, bundle up a little bit, but it's going to be a great night to cheer on the Grantsburg Pirates. If you can't make it, watch it on We Are Grantsburg. But until then, that's Coach. I'm Bob saying thank you for watching Coach's Corner here on We Are Grantsburg.